50.
Love hasn't been the same since I saw you. Too many chances I done gave you to change. You always on my mind and I don't know why. Time flies and I'm sitting here all alone like before, trying to figure out what I did wrong. But all I did was love you like no one else could. If we ain't talking love, then you ain't had no part of me. I've wasted time with girls who only wanted finer things. And when I'm with you, baby, yeah, you got me feeling free. And I don't wanna live another day without you next to me. Love hasn't been the same since I saw you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the fourth official episode of Uncle Time with Story Mike.
Nice.
Story time with Uncle Mike. Gave you a little.
No, you
talk
say
about
what you mean, and you mean what you say.
Dude, Uncle Time. If you ever hear someone say it's Uncle Time, you better run.
Yeah,
Especially
if
they got
it's your uncle.
Especially he's got a mustache like the one I'm looking at back at me.
Bro, I look good.
You do look good.
I know I look good.
You do not want to be Spider-Man upside down kissing someone with that, or even this goatee. Come on, you like the goatee?
Yeah, you look cute. You look handsome.
I had to change it up. My girl said she liked it, but
She has to like it.
yeah, she does.
So
She does. I thought about going just stash, but I don't know, dude. I don't like my chin.
What do you not like about it?
The shape. It's very punchable. If it wasn't me, if I was someone else, I'd punch myself in the chin.
I think that's just says something deeper about you. Honestly.
It might.
It's like a therapy issue.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's not go there.
I've been doing cardio lately, like at the gym. You know, I've been starting my workout, like just walking on the treadmill for 10 minutes. Because I used to talk, like whoever's working the front desk, I talk for 10. I'm like, what if I substitute that with walking? And then at the end, I do 25 minutes. Usually I'll go like 15 minutes, like walking, 10 minutes running, or on incline the whole time. But like, I was like, maybe like I'll shed a couple. I shed a couple lbs if I shave my face.
What'd you eat yesterday? Just out of curiosity, me being the fitness coach I am.
Okay, I'll tell you what I ate. Honestly, it wasn't. You asked for a bad day. Yesterday.
Yeah, well, then the 25 minutes on the treadmill didn't do shit, did it?
All right, let me tell you.
Let
me tell you what I had yesterday. I woke up. I had 2 pieces of toast with Nutella on it.
Yep. See, we're already.
I had a protein bar, 10-gram protein bar. That was my breakfast. That was at about 8 a.m., 7:30 a.m. About 1 o'clock, I had 2 slices of Buscemi's.
Okay, well.
2 slices of Buscemi's. Then about, this is bad, dude. About 7 o'clock, went out to eat. I had some cheese bread in a French onion soup bowl. That's terrible. And a beer. Went home, dude. I busted out your favorite, the extra cheddar goldfish from the carton.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got it from the carton, and this is even worse because I started eating it upstairs. I was watching a movie, and I forgot to get a bowl. So I was lazy. I was like, I'm not gonna go get a bowl. So yeah, I was doing that, dude. It was like the trying to get your hand in the Pringle can, but I eventually started just lifting it up into my mouth, which is disgusting.
Dude, that's the worst. You know what my favorite part about those were? Is just when you get the cheese stuff on your fingers. You suck the cheese stuff
yeah.
up.
To this day, whenever I see extra cheddar goldfish, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think about you in middle school lunch because you always had that and a cosmic brownie. And I don't remember what you drank, but
I upgraded after like my junior year. I was like, I'm gonna get huge and started bringing the chicken and rice.
Yep, I'm talking like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah,
I'm talking like 7th, 8th grade.
I was on that brownie, and then dude, in 6th grade we had the cool like Arizona tea before Michelle Obama ruined America.
Yeah, dude. She
I hate that guy.
She stepped. Yeah, Michael Obama, dude.
Michael Obama.
Bro, Shimherm stepped in, a bomb, dropped the mic, said, "All your good snacks gone." Dude, there was a brief time. I remember that we had the 99-cent like Arnold Palmer's. We had Flaming Hot Cheetos. Remember that was huge. That was huge when everyone had that. And then what else too? Like the cookies. Like the cookies our school made.
Yeah, the Otis Spunkmeyer. You know what's funny is I went to donate blood the other day, and that's like the best part about donating blood because they have those.
The Otis Spunkmeyers?
I'm convinced you can probably buy that machine. Like I think it's just like a little take and bake machine with their recipe and stuff. I should just buy one.
You should, yeah. Where you're at, like what are like gas prices looking like in Houston?
You're not gonna like this if you live up north. I paid $2.70 last time I got gas. I don't know what it is up there.
You're a chump.
What is it?
Honestly, it's went down a lot. I paid $3.28 yesterday.
Yeah, well, when it was like whatever, it was like $5 up there.
Hmm.
I was getting gas for like $2.50. It was awesome.
Damn.
There's this place called Bucky's,
Yeah. Yep. Heard about that.
Bussies.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, big time, big time.
Yeah, Bucky's. That's like like they have a lot of bunch of like delicate like meats, right? Like you get really good like beef jerky and
It's
stuff like
like
that.
you can't really explain it with words. I'm not gonna lie. It's like you pull up to this gas station and there's like 300 pumps, and you walk into it and it's like a department store,
Oh,
and they have everything. Like
damn.
literally anything you could ever want are in there. And then like you go to the bathroom, and again, Texas is wild. Like everything you've ever heard about Texas is true.
Yeah.
Like 100% true. But there's just an individual stall, like I'm telling you, like probably 100 urinals that have like a hand sanitizer and like a whole pit for you
Uh-huh.
to like do your thing.
They have like one of those guys in there who's like handing you mints and is like
No, but the
grabbing your
bars down here
shoulders.
do. I haven't seen a bathroom attendant, and literally, I only saw one once in my life, but they're like at every single bar down here
That's
as like
hilarious.
bathroom attendant.
When I was in Vegas, I remember seeing a bathroom attendant uh everywhere. I've seen one in Detroit.
Dude, and you know what's
Actually, maybe a couple in Detroit.
I'm horrified of bathroom attendants.
Yeah.
Because when they do something for you, I feel obligated. Like I have to reward you for the work you've done for me.
Uh-huh.
So I just like won't wash my hands. I'll just run out of the bathroom. I'll just pee and just not go in.
he
Just like
pulls
I
out
don't want.
he pulls out walkie-talkies like, yeah, guy with a mustache didn't wash his hands. Keep an eye on him.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would do anything to just save $1. Like
Yeah.
he's
Dude.
gonna squirt that soap into my hand and then like look at me and wait, and I'm gonna be like, no, I want to do it myself. Every other place on planet Earth has their own soap.
Yeah. I don't need your
Actually, I could
delicate
just.
soap.
What if I just brought my own?
Just bring your own soap.
Just pull it out of my pocket.
Just look
I
at him
don't.
the whole time.
I don't even need you.
You're like, I don't need you.
I'm so independent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
live
that's a,
alone. Or I'm gonna die alone.
that's a statement. Dude, I when I was in LA actually, there was a bathroom attendant and I so they had like a glass of like Starburst, Skittles, they have like condoms, they have like all this like anything you think of, dude.
Yeah,
Um
dude, bags of Doritos, just
yeah,
like
yeah,
anything.
Dude, I grabbed a Starburst, it's an individual one, and he goes, "That's not free." And I was like, "Oh," and I just threw it back in. I was like, "Oh, okay, dude, you get security on me over freaking Starburst?"
I would be like, "Where's the cash register at?"
Yeah, for real.
Anyway,
Yeah. But have you actually like seen them when they do like start massaging your back? No, they do that in Vegas.
that's a thing.
I was taking a piss. Guys started massaging my back.
Did he kiss you after too? What I mean,
He
like
started breathing down my neck.
this feels made up.
He breathed down my neck. Said, "I like your watch." I was like,
I'm telling you, if somebody touches me while I have my wiener out, they're getting one of these a knuckle sandwich.
"Do you hit him with one of those?" I remember watching movies when I was young, and I remember I don't know. I remember in Lord of the Rings there was a scene when there's a guy behind him and he went like this and hit him. And I remember my dad was like, "Don't ever do that. Like they'll break your arm. Like you hit him with one of these, if anything." I don't know, dude. Yeah, like when I was growing up, especially like in bathrooms, dude, I was like nervous to like piss in urinals. Do you
Were you
remember that?
really?
Yeah,
I
because
have
my
a
dad.
really good story about peeing
Yeah,
in public.
dude, my dad like told me a story when I was really young. It's like traumatized me about like some kid who went to a urinal and some guy like slit his throat and murdered him. And dude, I'm not kidding. For the next, until I was realistically, I'd say 19 or 20 years old, I couldn't pee at a urinal, or I could have no one was in there. But as soon as someone walked in, it was blank. Like I'm like I can't go.
I did not
I
know
didn't know
this
about
about
that, dude.
you.
A lot of people, dude. When I was on spring break, in 11th grade, we drove all the way to Florida, and every rest stop we stopped in, the gas station was popping, and I was so like nervous, dude. I held my piss for honest. I'm not kidding, 10 hours at one time.
Were you
And
hurting or what?
dude, I remember sitting in the back, like in the fetal position, like thought I was gonna explode, and I felt like all bloated. But that was the best piss of my life. I remember like that feeling, like
Do you ever just piss like that and just start screaming? I do that like every day. Just gotta
Yeah.
go so bad, and you're just like, ah!
Yeah, you put your hand on your back. You're
Yeah.
like, oh.
You do with the John Robinson. Just one of these.
Yeah, it's one of those lean over.
Did you like the reference?
I did like the John Robinson reference, dude.
Thank you.
I
That was for you.
so I'll say this. There's a guy I work with at Monster. He's always on like these national calls, and I can't remember where he's from. I'm not gonna say his name because we're blowing up. We got 170 views, so who's gonna see this. But I'm just kidding. But anyway,
170 people. Baby.
when we were in when we were in Vegas though, I remember I walked in and he was at the urinal, but he had his pants pulled onto his shins. So now whenever I see him on national calls, I just think about that. I'm like, I saw this dude's ass. He's an older gentleman. Seems like a real nice guy. But every time I see him on these calls, which is like quite frequently, he's not like really talking on them, but he'll have his camera on. I'm like, you dirty dog.
Dude, so story time. My freshman year of college baseball, like right after moving, we did this. I went to a very small private Christian school to play college baseball for reference. So the first thing we did was go to a retreat at this like Bible camp. It's like questionable, because everybody knows what happens at Bible camp. Nothing good. And well, besides the love of the Lord, but besides that, anyway, I was taking a wee at this retreat. Just moved in literally the day before, and then we left, and you're with all these people that you just don't know. I've never met anybody. We got recruited in like July before August school started. So I went there and I just was using the bathroom like a good boy in between little sermon things that were going on downstairs. And our pitching coach walked in and I went to piss and he was pissing next to me and I couldn't go. And he just looked me dead in my eyes and he was like, if you can't piss right now, how am I supposed to expect you to perform in the late innings of a game? It's like, you're not even confident enough to piss in front of the presence of another man. And I just like looked at him and I was like, is this what college is like?
Wow. He really said that to you?
Just like, yeah. And like no smile or like laugh or anything like that. And I was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my entire life as a little 18-year-old at church camp where I knew nobody.
Yeah. See now how I was like already being like stressed about it. If I heard that, it would have totally made everything way worse. And it was already like pretty bad, dude.
I owned that though. I actually like after he told me that it motivated 18-year-old me. I was like, I'm gonna pee everywhere, wherever I want.
Yeah. You just close out a game 2-1. You get the dub. You close. You just piss all over the place.
Piss myself.
Yeah, you like that, coach? You wash these pants. He's like, all right, dude, relax, man, chill out.
Would you rather be slightly cold or always have to pee?
Oh, slightly cold. Because there's
Really?
a way you could prepare. Yeah, you can wear a hoodie. I like wearing hoodies.
But no, you don't. You can't solve it. You're just always slightly cold, no matter what.
No matter what you're wearing.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're just always slightly.
I would rather have that. I'd rather have that because honestly, I already feel like I have to pee all the time, and it's aggravating. It's so aggravating. Like
maybe
I wouldn't want it anymore.
Problems.
I might. Well, I do drink a lot of Monster. And like the Joe Rogan
that's correlated.
Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn talked about it, so it's real. Whatever Joe Rogan says, it's real.
You're right. Joe Rogan is actually the internet, and everything on the internet's true. Simon
Says isn't a thing anymore. It's Rogan Says. That's what the kids play in the playground. Rogan Says.
Joe Rogan says.
Rogan says.
Do a bunch of DMT.
Jamie, pull up that clip. But honestly,
who's our Jamie? Are we gonna have a Jamie one day?
Josh Lupo. Yeah. Josh Lupo, but he's dressed in drag. And he goes by Josephine.
You think he'd do that?
I think he would if we were willing to pay him enough.
I think he would do a good job. With the dressing up part. He always looks good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He does. As long as he just keeps that beard away. That red beard.
Oh.
Dude, that red beard.
I've never seen it. You've
never seen it live?
No, he's never had facial hair when I've been in his presence. Well, no, he had a mustache, I think, when I saw him.
Dude, it's like chick repellent.
Is it?
It is, dude. Yeah. Like
I think he deserves some butt. Hey, if you're out there and you're a single woman, I think Josh Lupo is the next man in your life.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're in the Macomb area or the surrounding areas there. Hit up Josh Lupo. Let's get his phone number out here publicly. Let's give his phone number to the people. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah.
Josh Lupo, he's always the first one to wake up, last one to go to bed. He's always around. This guy's always around. So
if you're looking for a handsome man who does the same thing literally every day and sends it in the group chat, 586-819-8573. I'll repeat that one more time so you can write it down. 586-819-8573. Send all of your questions, comments, and concerns to this number. It will also act as a hotline for this podcast. So if you have anything that you want to say, I suggest reaching out to that phone number that I gave you twice. There you go.
Yep. And if he's not answering your calls, I promise you,
Just keep trying.
he
Just
is
keep
yeah,
trying.
he is either sleeping, working out, or playing pool in his basement.
I mean, what a consistent man. Like, if you're a woman, what else do you need? Like, you know where he's at all the time. He's getting fit for you. He's going to be in shape, you know?
Mhm.
He'll be around for a few minutes, if you know what I'm saying, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I can't confirm that. I've never experienced it or seen it myself, but
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to hope so. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm. But when you see that red beard start coming out,
Oh,
you got to speak up because he'll keep
yeah.
going. He'll keep going. He's a different man with that red beard.
I got
He
another
is.
one for you here.
I've seen him not get allowed into bars because of his beard. I'd be like, nah, I mean, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go find the end of the rainbow, my friend. I've heard that
Dog.
before. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's hear it though. But yeah, me honestly, I'd rather always be cold.
Would you rather never use a computer again, and this includes like cell phones, any form of electronics, or never talk, touch, look, be around, like they're just gone, opposite sex?
Oh, computer. As hard as it would be. As hard as it would be. For sure that. Because they didn't have all that like in like the 70s, and they were fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But dude, like I'm obsessed with my phone. I'll say it. I feel like you're better at that. You're pretty self-disciplined.
No, not at all. I'm completely addicted to all forms of technology. I play on my phone more than anybody I know, and I
Yeah,
run my
okay.
business on my phone now, so it's worse. I'm always picking it up. I
Mhm.
literally turned all my notifications off, and I thought that would solve all my issues, but now I just open each app individually to check what's going on. Like, it made it worse. So I have to turn them back
Yeah.
on because now they talk to me when something happens, which is
Yeah.
somehow better
Dude,
because
that's
I'm on my phone more when I have my notifications off. Like, when I'm on
yeah.
do not disturb, I'm picking that thing up every 5 seconds, like, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" Because you don't
You
know now.
you know what? Yeah, you bring up a huge point when you say that. Because I tried doing that same thing. I just like got rid of all my apps like off of the like the surface. So like when I'm going through, I don't see them. But I'd still find myself going to the search bar. Because now I'm like curious. Now I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, what's going on?
I think do not disturb is counterintuitive. For some people, maybe not. Maybe it's cool that, like, nobody's hitting you up, and, like, when I'm doing, like, work on my phone and, like, athletes are texting me and stuff, like, that's cool that that's, like, paused, but I am still on that thing way more than I am if it's off. Like, if I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
notifications, I don't look. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. So, yeah, something I'm dealing with right
Dude,
now.
I knew I had a technology addiction. So in like 2017, I was playing football in the snow over at Higgins Elementary. Bunch of us, there was like 10 of us, dude. And I had my phone in my pocket, in my sweatpants. And anyways, we're playing, dude. And I remember like when I noticed it was gone. I would like someone scored a touchdown, they jumped up, like hit each other. And I reached my phone. I'm like, oh my God, it's gone. So, dude, for the next like an hour and a half, everyone's digging through the snow looking for my phone. And I'm freaking out, dude. Like literally, like felt like I probably was like itching. Like, where's my phone? I'm gonna die. And this was very beginning of December. 4 different times in the next 2 weeks, I went up to the school and I'm shoveling grass. Like trying to find it. I got a shovel. I'm shoveling, dude. I probably sent the school in the lockdown. I probably did. They're like, yeah, we have like a random white male, Pontiac Grand Am. That's how I was driving at the time. Shoveling the grass. I don't think he's mentally stable. But one time I remember school got out, the elementary school, and there was all these kids that were walking home. And I remember like it was yesterday, there was this little kid with a Seattle Seahawks hoodie and a beanie on. And he said, what are you looking for? And I was like, I lost my phone a few weeks ago. And dude, all these little kids stopped walking home and started helping me find my phone. I'm like, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that.
That's pretty cool, though.
It was sweet. It was sweet, but it was funny. But like they helped me out for like 10 minutes. And then it rained, like right after Christmas, it rained. And I'm like, this is the time to find it. And all of a sudden I see the Apple logo just peeping out of the grass,
You
pick it
found
up. Dude, it turned right back on. Right back on.
How many days was this?
About 20, I'd say about probably 25 days.
Really? And it
Yeah.
just What a great
Just
product.
turn right back
Good job,
on.
Apple. Good job,
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah, Apple. Now cut me a check. I just talked about how durable your product is.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, I definitely would say the technology.
Yeah, I think women, because I already do it. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, that'd be cool if we could do without computers. I
Yeah.
feel like so here's my thing. This is gonna sound probably pretty bad, but I'm just gonna lay it out there. It's all authentic. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like most men will agree with me and most women will disagree with me.
Mhm.
Um, if you're an attractive female, you've now leveraged every opportunity in the world because of social media, because now we see everything that's out there. So when you're from like a smaller town, not even a smaller town, right? Like if you're the most like beautiful girl in your city, you have only seen the men of your city or the people that you engaged with. So
Mhm.
now, like men are more likely to go after like, like the pretty girl from the town. And she's like, yeah, cool, this guy's good looking. But
Mhm.
now we've all gone from here to here. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's been dating lately, bro, but it's a jungle out there, dog.
Uh-huh.
Like everybody is just in the grass is always greener mentality.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to like not I don't want to say settle, but that's kind of what it is. Like they don't want to settle because they know that there's something that's more appealing to them somewhere on the horizon. So
Mhm.
nobody's happy because you have the internet at your fingertips and you can see the next best thing all the time.
Yeah.
So like your boyfriend don't buy you flowers on a weekend, you have a bad day, you get to see your homegirl just got like a brand new Louis Vuitton purse and car from hers. So now
Uh-huh.
you're a bad guy while you got $20 in your checking account trying to make it work.
Yeah. And
You
nowadays
know?
you hear like all these horror stories too about like people getting cheated on. It's all like that like, you hear a lot about like cheats for the streets and
Dog, we live in a world where you can post a picture of your boobies on an app and make a living off of it.
mhm. Yeah.
Like like anybody from anywhere.
Mhm.
Just here's my boobs. And then men, because we are the way we are, will just like some of us will pay $25 a month for that, you know?
Yeah,
That's remarkable.
it's
I mean,
scary out there.
with all the free internet porn out there, we're still,
Mhm.
you know,
I think it's
blows
just
my
that
mind.
I think it's just like that intrigueness of like seeing someone you went to school with. You're like, just because I know them, that's why I want to. That's why like they want to see.
But like when you do that, they can also see that. It's just like,
Yeah, yeah. I imagine like I like as you know like I have a girlfriend, but I feel like dudes like make like these fake names and then they're trying to type like someone that they're totally not. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like they be talking
Is that
like
what you do? I'm just kidding.
they'll be like spelling wrong. Like, hi, I see boobies. Me see boobies,
Yes.
please. He's just trying to say stuff like that. Just
Dude, it's hard. It makes it hard too because, like, again, the girl posts a picture of herself and she's got 15, and she's good looking. She's got 15 guys telling her how pretty she is. So,
mhm.
like, you can't go up to a girl and be like, hey, you look really good. Like, she's heard that 15 times today.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do to stand out? You know what I mean? But in reality, like if you go back to well, this is how I would imagine, right? This is all just a guess from
Mhm.
Austin. I'm just being bitter. And I'm not one of those beta cucks who like is like, I'm never gonna date again because girls are good looking and
Mhm.
get attention. That's not me either. Like I'm gonna try anyway. Sorry,
Yeah,
love you.
yeah.
But like 20 years ago, like the best looking girls didn't get approached because guys were probably afraid to go approach them. So you're just like a Joe Schmo. You go say what's up to the hottest chick at the bar. She's like, wow, this is the first dude who's ever talked to me. And then
Yeah,
you're the man, you know what I mean? But
it is
now
very true.
you're so good looking. I would drink your bathwater.
Drink your bath water.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I can imagine that's really like how it is.
bro. I
Um,
mean, it's messed up. It makes everybody's life harder. As we got all these simps running around telling every girl on earth how good looking they are. Like, stop it. For the love of God, men. If you're a man, stop telling women that they look good. Okay,
yeah.
until you have had commitment from them. That's the new rules. We're going through 2023. You're not allowed to tell a woman she's attractive unless you're dating her. That's the new rule.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Oh,
save all of us single men the trouble of trying to do this. All right.
uh-huh. Yeah, all these Homer Simplin kind of where's my hug at type dudes.
Yeah,
Just
brother, ruin it for the rest of
just
us. You're
yeah, dude.
ruining it for the rest of
Just
Josh
stay
Lupo.
at
If you're
home,
listening to this,
man.
bro,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, bro, stop,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
stop.
just turn on your PlayStation, get on live. You can play my boy Landon Kirkus. I don't play video games, so I don't have his gamer tag or any of that, but go play with your boy Landon
I'll
because
give you his phone number again,
you
though.
ain't finding love. Because you ain't finding love, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I
man.
mean, I can, if you guys need my phone number too, like, you can just contact me. If you can find me on social media, I'll give you anybody's phone number.
Yeah,
Really.
I'll leave all of Austin's contacts I did last week. I'll leave it all under here. Social security,
Yeah.
his address, parents' address,
Yeah.
anything. Valentine's coming up. We're gonna find Austin a Valentine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got? A week left?
Oh
3 days?
no,
3
3
days.
days.
That's plenty of time. I got this.
It is. You can you can do it.
Yeah.
But dude, so starting like when I interviewed you last time, dude, I kind of wanted to talk more about like what it is exactly that you do because I realized I'm like we didn't even really cover like how we didn't even go over like how we like knew each other. We were like we haven't talked in so long, so we just went right into it. Like
You're
but
right.
for like outside viewers, which I mean it goes good with the fan base because it's like all people we went to high school with. But like tell everyone, man, like what exactly took you to Texas, to Houston?
I'll try and make this brief because I could probably talk about this for a while.
It's all about you, man. You do as much as you need. Go ahead.
So I decided foolishly that I wanted to be a strength conditioning coach, which
Mhm.
basically is the guy who teaches athletes who play sports how to lift weights. Which is like when I was like in college, that was the coolest thing in the world to me. I was
Mhm.
like, this is awesome. This is exactly what I want to do. So when I was an undergrad at Grand Valley State University in West Michigan, I basically was powerlifting. I had quit baseball. I transferred to state school. I liked to train. I like to train still. Like it's my favorite thing in the world.
Mhm.
And I wanted to train athletes because that was my background. And I knew I could get a job doing that.
Mhm.
So while I was there, like my junior year, I got my first opportunity at a high school called Granville in Granville, Michigan,
Mhm.
and started coaching kids and got like thrown right into the mix and kind of figured it out a little bit. I had like a great mentor, showed me the ropes. I got to work with high school kids. It was fun. I had like a good time. I enjoyed going there. I enjoyed spending time there. Same thing in undergrad. They posted an ad where I took over. I'm wearing the shirt right now, actually. Grand Valley
Mhm.
Tennis. I was Grand
Oh.
Valley Tennis's strength coach while I was an undergrad, which is like unheard of. I used to
Mhm.
drive to a country club and go train them. And at the same time, I was interning at Western Michigan University. I just doubled down. I wasn't very good in school. So I doubled down on like experience is going to take me far.
Mhm.
So I did that and then got a GA right before right after I graduated. I was actually supposed to go intern with University of Cincinnati football. And then like a week before I left for that, Youngstown State University called me. And I remember being on the phone. I'm like, so do I tell them I quit or what? Like before they even interviewed me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I want this job. And then they took me and I did that for a year and was a slave and realized how bad this field is. I
Mhm.
was working probably like 70 hours a week. I made $7,500 a year. Um, and like they gave us a master's degree, but the master's degree had nothing to do with anything I wanted to do. They didn't have
Yeah.
strength conditioning, so I wanted to be a strength coach. So I'm like, this doesn't
Uh-huh.
really make sense. It was like public health or something like that. I'm like, I don't even know what I could use this on. Would it have been nice to finish? Sure, but I was at the point where I couldn't make rent. Like I was texting Ma, I was like, hey, and I was paying my rent was $400 a month,
Yeah.
and I couldn't afford
Wow.
to pay rent. And
Yeah.
so
75, 100, dude. That sounds illegal.
I mean, it was there. We were
Uh-huh.
supposed to like when we signed up for the GA ship. I hope this is not going to change anything, but um, yeah, we were supposed to work 20 hours a week. We had like a meeting. It was like, you guys are only supposed to work 20 hours a week. I was like, we've worked 70 hours. If I made minimum wage at Youngstown, I
Yeah.
would have made like six figures.
Wow.
That's how many hours we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
football camp, we would be at injury check at 4 in the morning. That's when we would report, and we didn't get out until the last football meeting was over at 9 p.m.
Mhm.
And then you'd come home, and then you'd be back at 4 a.m. 6 days a week.
Mhm.
Yep, I've actually never been more miserable in my entire life. There were days where I remember I showed up late to a workout one time, and my boss like brought me in his office like, "What's going on, man?" And I'm like, "I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, I'm not making any money. I don't have a life. I don't like working with football players. Like, I want out.
Mhm.
Like this is literally my own personal hell. Like I don't like. We only coached athletes for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
My other boss was just like a huge narcissist. like always wanted to fight. You couldn't have an honest conversation with them.
Uh-huh.
Like there were times where like players on the coaching floor were asking me if I was okay because the head football strength coach would just start like screaming at me.
Mhm.
Like I'm on his staff. That's the part that never made sense to me. He's like, I work for you. Aren't you supposed to be my
Yeah.
teammate? Like teaching me, showing me the
Exactly.
ropes, like basically holding my hand, showing me how to do my job. It wasn't like that. It was like you basically just got screamed at and you either manned up and got better or you folded and you quit. And I'm just like, I'm getting paid nothing to be here
Yeah.
and I'm learning nothing.
Uh-huh.
And guy is just mean to me every day,
Uh-huh.
basically.
Dang.
Like for lack of a better
Well,
word, I'm like,
it,
this
it probably uh
sucks.
it probably did a lot for you now because you get to see like exactly because you've seen the worst of it. So
Oh, dude.
it showed you exactly how not to be, and also if you're ever like in a similar situation, you know when to speak up because you know what the red flags look like. You know.
No, 100%. That was the good takeaway from it. And I made a few relationships with people I still talk to like every day that
Yeah,
were
building that network.
but it was no, but it was like commiseration, like the other GAs, bro. We were all
Oh,
going
okay.
through it together. So,
As a team, we
yeah,
suffered. Yeah, yeah.
pretty much. And that's why we were so close, honestly,
Uh-huh.
because if I didn't have them, I don't know, man, I'd be like morbidly depressed
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we made it through. I was in like a long distance relationship, and like she was not happy either,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't happy. It was like honestly probably one of the hardest years of my life.
Yeah.
So we're to the point where I just started applying to jobs anywhere, like
Uh-huh.
at the 1 year mark. I'm like, I don't want the master's degree. It's not worth it. I'm not
Mhm.
doing this anymore. I can't be here. So I applied to a job in Texas. It was a private sector baseball job. The ad said I could make a bunch of money. I just sent an application. I'm like, I know because of the salary that was posted, I was like, I know people who work in the MLB are going to apply to this. Like, I have no chance to get this job. I had one interview and I killed it and I moved to Texas and
Uh-huh.
he liked me and he told me that when I
Yeah.
got here. He's like, I interviewed multiple people who worked in the MLB and minor leagues and you had the best interview by far. It didn't even sound like they were going to work hard for me. And I guess, you know, I mean, I legitimately at that point would have given anything to get out of my job, like
Mhm.
anything, anything.
Mhm.
But I still wanted to coach. So I
Mhm.
still liked coaching and the coaching
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
So I stuck with it and yeah, man, now I'm here.
Yeah, I guess I was always so fascinated because like the way you were like so involved in baseball, like playing college baseball, and you left, and then you made your way back to it. Were you kind of burnt out when you
I
left
was.
Cornerstone?
Well, when I was in college, I had I went unconscious my freshman year of college. Like I played the best baseball I've ever played in my whole life.
Hmm.
I had like met a hitting coach there, Casey Fisk, Carlton Fisk's son, the Hall of Famer.
Oh wow, okay.
He was our college hitting coach, and like basically taught me how to hit. And
Hmm.
I figured it out while I was in college, and I just like I was playing on the JV team there, and every week I would have a meeting with the coaches, like, what do I need to do to play on the big time team?
Hmm.
And they're basically like, I just keep working. Like we see you. And the kid above me was hitting his body weight on varsity. And he was a
Hmm.
senior. I'm like, I don't understand this. Like I'm playing so well, but I'm not playing. And there were other kids too who played corner outfield that were like unconscious. Like we were
Yeah,
all killing it, but none of us were playing. So we're just like, what
yeah,
are we
yeah.
doing?
Uh
Like
huh.
what like this sucks. But
Uh
um yeah, and then I did actually like get an opportunity. Our coaches were like, we're gonna come watch you, and I went like 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, so that was awesome. But
huh.
yeah, anyway, the year after that, when I got there for the fall, same thing. We played one fall game. I was 3 for 3 with a bunch of hits, and they brought in a scholarship kid from Georgia who was going to play over me no matter what. And I was just like, okay, well, maybe this isn't for me. I'm just going to transfer to state school and have a college experience because my school was like super strict too. Like it was a strict Christian school. You couldn't do anything. You could have people of the opposite sex over in your dorms. So
Hmm.
like the only reason I'm here is basically to play baseball, and you're not letting me do that. So
Yeah,
I'm out. See ya. Like I don't need baseball. Like at
yeah.
that point, I'm like, I'm not going to the MLB.
Uh huh.
Um, let's just live life.
Yeah.
And
Oh, keep going.
that's what I did. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then I went to Grand Valley and got, like that's I immediately got into like powerlifting or whatever. I needed something to do competitive. That's just who I
Yeah.
am. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, you bring up a great point about like playing loosely and like you use the word like unconscious.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you a lot like when we were growing up, you were always like so fundamentally sound and like I feel like you were always thinking a lot, which I was the exact same. I remember like playing with like kids who I felt like fundamentally I had much more experience like in travel ball and like there was like these like I'll say like rec ball kids who played under, but they were like just so loose and having fun. I'd be like they'd be like hitting the ball, like they'd be performing better than me. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Oh
You
yeah,
don't
dude.
deserve this. You don't deserve. I'd be
I
like thinking, like, my ego's like, you don't deserve this. I do. Look at how much like reps and late nights and like studying like the greatest hitters in the world. You know what I'm saying?
and dude, I used to drive to the high school every single day and take the 3 million swings, thinking that that was gonna make me better. In reality, it just made me a mental nutbag. And
Uh huh.
like the same thing you said, like I went to therapy about that,
Uh huh.
like during college, because it was just like my approach to life. When I no longer had baseball, it was just like, well, like what do I do? And then you realize like you're just so hard on yourself for no reason.
Mhm.
Um, like no reason at all, really. I mean, well, now that I'm on the other side of it, coaching athletes, like I feel like I have a unique perspective in that, like I've been there. Like I've been at a point where I can't see myself even succeeding in my own head.
Uh
You know what
huh.
I mean? Like you're that shell shock where you're trying to visualize yourself have success, like do well on a field, and you can't
Mhm.
because you're so shell shocked and so just like in your own head, hard on yourself, like scared to fail.
Uh huh.
Um, because you put so much into it, like way too much into it, really. If I could, hindsight's 2020. If I could go back, I would have done a quarter of what I did, and I probably would have been a way better athlete.
Yeah.
Um, but like I liked to work, and I that's who I am now, though. And I found places where that plays for me. You know what I mean? That's who
Mhm.
I am. Like I'm a workaholic,
Mhm.
and for better or worse, I'm a workaholic, and I just needed to find the right application. Like right now, I just decided I'm gonna compete in bodybuilding in August for the first time, and, that's a sport that rewards that, like,
Yeah.
every single day, you have to do the exact same thing. You live a disciplined life. I mean, you're a robot at the end of the day, but,
Uh huh.
and I like to have fun with the best of them. You know that, like, I'm not I'm
Yeah.
not a square by any means, but, like, those are things I enjoy. I like the discipline that goes into something like that, you know?
Uh
Like, where
huh.
you have to calculate everything you eat, and I just like being calculated with life.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and I like training, and those
Mhm.
2 things put together just, like, bring me happiness, and that's not common. Like, I know, like, most of the kids our age like to, go to the bar and go on vacation and travel the world and do all that stuff. It's just, like, routine gives me comfort, and training gives me comfort because throughout my whole life, that's always been there for me.
Mhm.
Like, I know no matter what's going on, like, training will give me an opportunity to think about something that distracts me from life,
Uh
and
huh.
it's, like, the greatest release in the world for me, and I'll never give that up for anything. I'll never stop training.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had a lot of instances like in like training with like younger kids where you see your younger self in them and you really
All the
have the
time.
opportunity to it's got to be
All the
pretty
time.
humbling. It's probably be pretty humbling feeling, dude.
Now that I'm so glad, I'm so grateful that I'm on the other side of it. Because if I would have never made it to the other side, I don't know if I'd have this perspective. But
Yeah.
it is frustrating to see kids like even today, not to say it, but there's 2 kids I've trained over the winter that played today and are struggling like immensely, and it's between the years.
Mhm.
And you wish you could show. One's a first baseman who had is a transfer that had like basically I think he had like a hits or home run record or was set up to break that at another school, and like just can't figure it out right now. And he's like 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, biggest kid on the field, moves better, works harder than everybody else, and like you want he does everything right,
Uh-huh.
and he has the right guidance, but like once he gets on the field, it's like he shuts down.
Uh-huh.
And that's really, now that I'm here too, I've worked in Division 1 sports and lower division sports, and that's the only difference between the 2. My Division 1 kids that I coached were by far and away more lazy and made worse decisions than the kids at D3. The kids at D3 work way harder. They want to be there. They want to continue playing sports, right? Like you're playing
Uh-huh.
Division 3 sports. Obviously, you want to be here because
Yeah, yeah.
you probably have a very slim chance to play more one day.
Uh-huh.
The Division 1 kids were the kids who just like show up hungover to workouts and like wouldn't eat right and didn't do it, but they have like top tier genetics. So it didn't matter, like there's always going to be somebody who's on the field who's better than you. Like
Mhm.
you can have a perfect diet, perfect training. There's some dummy who's going to eat a couple McGriddles and go, get wasted the night before and still go 4 for 4. Like he's out there, bro. He's
Yeah.
not gonna do anything right. He's gonna have some fat sloppy kid who gets drunk before games and plays better than you. It's not fair. But those people who are so confident, like Deion Sanders, I watched an interview with him recently, and he said that on the field he was thinking about stuff that he was gonna say to the reporters. Like he wasn't even worried about the play. He was worried
Yeah.
about the hilarious things he was gonna say to the reporters after he succeeded. Like he believed in himself so much that he didn't even have to think about believing you
Yeah.
know? And that's what it takes to be an elite athlete or an elite in everything. Like, you have to believe going into something that you're going to succeed. If you have enough belief in yourself, you will be successful because your mind subconsciously wraps itself around those ideas. It'll change your behavior to align with your goals. If you
Uh-huh.
wanna be rich, and you tell yourself every single day when you wake up, "I wanna be rich," you're gonna start saving money. You're
Yeah.
gonna start making better decisions. You're gonna work harder. You're gonna find more opportunities to make more money. Like, your whole life is gonna align that way because that's what
Mhm.
you're thinking about constantly.
Yeah, and you're gonna surround yourself with people who have that same mindset as well too. Like we talked
It
about that a little bit last week.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so like, was there like a moment? Did you have like an eye-opening moment where you kind of knew, like this is what I want to do? Like before you actually went into like training, was there something who was like, like what exactly turned that switch on?
No, honestly, do you know what imposter syndrome is?
Where you start like questioning yourself and like why you're here and like you feel
Yeah,
like an imposter?
pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've that I think everybody at some point in, like, their quest to mastery deals with imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
and I not until probably this year, I feel like I've belonged here,
Mm-hmm.
as, like, a strength coach in general. Like, I've never been that confident in all of it because I didn't really know what it looked like until you execute it, and it's just I never had, like, an inkling of, like, I just knew that's what I wanted to do, and I was gonna pursue it no matter what, but I never felt like I've never really felt called to anything,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being completely honest. It's just
Okay.
been, like, conscious decisions of things I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I had, like, a moment where, it was time for me, and uh, I mean, I've been training since I was, like, 12 years old, but, um I know that's always gonna be part of my life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's my favorite part of my life, so I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to be like my job, but when you realize that if you do anything for money and it's your main source of revenue, it's gonna become work,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's something that I learned this year, but some people don't learn that until they're old and gray.
That's
So I'm
true.
glad I had that realization right now. Like, everybody always tells me, like, "Man, I wish I had your job. You're so passionate about it." But at the end of the day, dude, work is work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter how much you love something, it's going to be work.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you decide you don't want to do that one day, it doesn't really matter. You go there and you show up and you do the work.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah,
Because I you brought up like imposter syndrome. I think that's something that, like over the years, like growing up, like knowing you, and like you knowing me so well, like I've dealt with that a lot myself. And I think about like little things, like when I was a child. I remember, um, I was always I always had a lot of jerseys, and this is like
yeah,
kind of something I've never really like told a lot of people about. It's just something that later through like therapy, when I went in college and my parents were splitting up, I remember talking about this subject with my therapist, and um, I remember whenever I'd play basketball, I would put like Steve Nash jersey on, Chauncey Billups. I played baseball, I'd put my Cabrera, my David Wright. If I was playing baseball, I'm pretending to be David Wright, I'm pretending to be Miguel Cabrera, and I was never like comfortable with myself. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to have a great game and take all of that credit because the whole time I was pretending to be someone else.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's something I remember like being a child. I remember saying something like telling Ryan Black like what I got for Christmas. I'm like, I got this jersey and that jersey, and he was like, my mom says I can't wear and anything with like someone else's name on it. I should just be myself or like something like that. I remember him saying that, and that kind of like bothered me. But like it bothered me because like I didn't like myself. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I just feel like it was hard. Like from some as little as like I would change up my batting stance. So like I was always like pretending to be someone that I wasn't. I think that kind of translated more like as I got older and then as like you deal with the hardships and how the realness of life. Um, sometimes like these things unfold, and it's some like in therapy. Like I'm sure like you've seen this. There's things that come to life that come to fruition that you're like, I never would have like thought about this. Like
no,
great questions like a therapist. Um, will do that, dude.
I think too. Like, we're 25. You're 26, bro. Are you
25.
20? We're both 25.
Come on, that old, come on.
That's all right.
You
I
got
mean, like,
it.
like most people on Earth are still older than us.
Mhm,
We're not supposed to have it figured out, and I think that's where we run into these battles, right? It's like you're a high school kid and everybody starts talking to you like, oh, like start thinking about what you want to be when you grow up. Like when you're an athlete, like like be confident. You're telling a kid who doesn't even know their left from their right to be confident in their self, and they don't even know who their self is.
Uh-huh.
Like you're not supposed to have that figured out. And I guess, like, I mean, looking back on myself, I feel like I probably pretended
Uh-huh.
like I knew what was going on, like I knew what I wanted to do. I remember being like 13 years old, like I'm gonna go to college and be a physical therapist.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm confident, I know what I'm gonna do. And now I'm like 25, and last year I'm here alone in Texas by myself going on walks. Like, man, I have no idea what I want to do with my life.
Mhm.
Like I'm 100% clueless. Like what do I want to do? What is my purpose?
Uh-huh.
And through like soul searching and that, man, it's hard to deal with for sure. I can
Uh-huh.
relate to that. It is because you don't know who you are. You shouldn't know who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you hear people talk about your 20s as your time to figure it out. But I think that's even like a stretch. I think there's
Yeah.
people who are 60 who don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think there's beauty in that. I think it's because we're socialized to think that we should know.
Mhm.
And I think that I in myself, I'm sure you as well. Just I mean, we're good friends. Like I'm a curious individual. I really am, and that's inspired like a lifelong learning thing for me. And every single day, I pick something up that I didn't know the day before. Every single time I have a conversation with somebody, I go into it knowing that they probably know something I don't, no matter how stupid I think they are before we start talking to
Uh-huh.
each
Yeah.
other.
It's
I
true.
mean, like it's serious. Like I mean, it truly is. Like every single person on planet Earth teaches you something, and you learn something new every day. And you'll never know it all, but it's just something to consider for sure.
Yeah, and when you do, like, learn these things, you're not gonna always realize, like, "Today I learned something off the bat," you know what I'm saying? Like, you're
Yeah,
kinda just planting that seed, and I think, you bring up a great point. I think the hardest is just accepting that, like, once you, like, realize, like, not everyone figures it out. We're all just giving it our all because that's all we can do,
a
and it's
hundred
like
percent.
it's such a great feeling when you realize it, and I'm not, like, saying this like I have, like, mastered this process because there's still so many times where I'm like, "I'm so lost," but then I think I'm like, "Oh, well, actually, yeah, no one really does." I have to, like, remind myself, which, like, we all do.
Yeah,
Um
and that's a comforting feeling too as an adult when you realize that nobody's got it figured out.
Uh-huh,
Like I read a really good book called The Psychology of Money. And it talks about how big of an influence luck and risk are in every single person's life, and that's just the truest thing on planet Earth.
uh-huh,
Like, I mean, like to be the richest person on planet Earth. Like, if you think about like Jeff Bezos, like I know there's a lot of people out there who are young, and I'm one of them. Like, I want to have a secure income. Like, financial stability is probably a goal for a lot of people, right? Like, you don't want to worry about money.
uh-huh.
Um, but do you think that him in his youth thought that one day he would be the richest man on planet Earth?
Oh.
Like, there's so much that goes into that that's out of his control that
Uh-huh,
and us in our daily lives that's just out of our control. Like, I mean, you could invest in like all the people who got rich off investments, right? It's just
uh-huh.
like, oh, like I'm gonna take or like gambling. I mean, it is gambling at the end of the day. Like you go, I mean, we learned that the hard way when we
Yeah.
went out
Yeah,
over
we did, we
Christmas.
did.
I got rid of about $300 in like 20 minutes. So
Yeah, yeah, you
I mean,
did.
yeah, sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you're lucky, and sometimes you're not. But my whole philosophy through it is that you got to take risks to figure that out because if you don't take risks, you'll never know.
Uh-huh. I,
With
uh
for anything in life.
yeah, that so I just had, I watched an episode of this past weekend, like, Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he had Dave Portnoy, and obviously, like, he owns the Barstool Sportsbook, um, and just talking about how, like, his personality, like, gambling, a lot of it, like you said, like, it is luck. And how with like everything in his life, like from like building a brand and everything, like he was gambling in a way. Like so, it says something much bigger about like his character and who he is. Because with every decision we make, like we're not like filling out like like a parlay, like act like
Yeah.
literally gambling. But like every decision we make, we're gambling to an extent. Like me, like you like taking this job, like you're
I
gambling because there
mean,
could be something better, like in another state, whatever it is. When you took that job in your current role, I'm saying. So
100%. But at the end of the day, like we talked about, or like I talked about, if you believe that you're going to be successful, you can kind of influence that though. So
Mhm.
you can, and that's something that Psychology of Money talks about is that if you put yourself in a position to be risky, you have a better chance of being lucky.
Mhm.
And that's super important. I'm a huge law of attraction guy.
Mhm.
And you can point to every single successful person in every single field. They're firm believers in the law of attraction. I read Jordan Belfort's book. Jordan
He
Belfort
talked
was
about it.
like, there's absolutely nobody on planet Earth who can sell stuff better than I can. I
Mhm.
can sell you anything. Like that's something he says out loud. And he in the book, he's like, I know that probably makes me sound like an asshole. Like it probably makes me sound super arrogant that I
Mhm.
think I'm the best in the world at this. He's like, but I am.
Mhm.
And I know that and I believe that in myself. Just like
Mhm.
Deion Sanders. Like Deion Sanders is like the cockiest athlete of all time. But guess what? He backed it up.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
he talks and he owns his BS. Like he talks about how he played Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson stiff armed him to the ground, and that point he was baptized by Bo Jackson to be the best football player of all time. Like
Uh-huh.
it's instances like that where these people like they get humbled, but they don't give up on themselves.
Uh-huh.
It's just like another thing that drives them further and further mad to get closer to what their ultimate goal is, which
Yeah.
I think is inspiring. And that's the reason I'm in Texas right now. Like I couldn't we talked about this before. It's no knock on people who are comfortable and want to be around their families and spend time. Like
Mhm.
I get that. It's lonely sometimes down here. It is. Like
Yeah.
I'm with myself. I got to do it all myself now. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't take this risk or this opportunity to go move somewhere and see something different and try to make it work.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, if you're thinking to yourself like, man, like this is risky, I don't think I can do it, and it's something that's not going to completely ruin your life, like finances is one thing you can be iffy about that if you don't have an opportunity. Like if it could make you broke, like okay, sure.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like if you have for us, like we have college degrees. Like I know if I completely messed up and like almost ruined my life by taking a risk, I could go get a job working as a strength coach for the American military for $60,000 a year
Yeah.
today.
We spoke about that a little bit last
Yep.
week.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like something I think about every day. It's like, okay, so I spend a bunch of money on something and it doesn't go well. Like, okay, do you accrue some debt?
Mhm.
Okay, like, is it going to ruin your life? Has debt ever ruined anybody's life? Like, no. Does it put you in a bad position? Sure. Okay.
Mhm.
Is it ever ruined a life?
Mhm.
No. You have the opportunity to climb out of that. That's the beauty of our world.
Yeah.
Like we're
Exactly.
beauty of America for sure. Like we still. I mean, it's give or take. I don't want to go again. I don't want to be political or anything like that, but like we
Yeah.
have the opportunity to try a lot of things.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I mean, we live in a country where if you go broke, the government gives you money.
Yeah, that's very
So
true.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, what is there to lose at the end of the day? I don't know.
Uh-huh. Because obviously we covered a lot, like fitness being your background, or like being your passion. I'm kind of like curious, like if you can go back, was there like a moment that I know like I brought up like a moment earlier, but was there really a moment that like baptized you into wanting to get into fitness? Was it like were you
I
insecure
think
about your body or something like
I
that?
think ultimately it was insecurity.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was like a combo of insecurity and a combo of like seeing what training did to my confidence.
Mhm.
Um, because like there were times I remember like middle school me again. Middle school's rough for everybody. I know
Oh
it
yeah, yeah,
is,
yeah.
but it's that's a wild time in everybody's
Mhm.
life. But at that point, I remember getting into sixth grade and like the friends you had in elementary school. It's like okay, well, like there were a couple of them I wasn't really friends with, and I remember like summer after fifth grade, I really didn't try to do anything. I was playing like travel baseball, so I had friends, but like my parents like brought it up to me, and I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. They're like, "Aren't you gonna like go hang out with somebody?" Like, is there anybody you can, like, call to go, like, hang out with? And I, like, hadn't even thought about it at that point because I just wasn't doing it. I was, like, a 10-year-old, and I didn't really care, like, whatever. Like, I go to baseball, hang out with my friends there, and then come home and hang out at home.
Uh-huh.
Like, it wasn't an issue at that point, but, like, that, I think my mom traumatized me with that one.
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Dang, like, what? Like, wow, like, what is there something wrong with me that nobody wants to But again, like, obviously, that's not what it was, but and then, like, my dad drags me to the basement when I'm 12 years old. It's like, "You're playing football now, you gotta get stronger than everybody else." Uh
Mhm.
'Cause that's his mentality, that's just
Yeah,
who my
yeah.
dad is, but, like, when I was 14, I just fell in love with it, dude, like, I saw myself start to grow muscle, and They liked the way I looked in the mirror, and I feel like I got more attention from it, and people would start bringing it up, and I had a seat at a table, which I talk about all the time now. Is like when you go through an experience, you are given a seat at the table. You meet somebody random somewhere. I did this the other weekend. There was a guy who came up to me and just started talking to me, and he was involved in CrossFit. And he literally just, she's like, "You're jacked, man." I'm like, "You're jacked
Yeah.
too." Like, I mean, it's like
Let's
kind
be
of how
jacked
it is.
together.
It's kind of how it is. Like, you just start
Yeah.
talking to somebody. It's because like, you see somebody muscular. It's like a status symbol. It
Mhm.
is. It's like, wow, that person takes care of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
they really do take care of themselves. Or like, or like, wow, that person's like scary or something like that.
Uh-huh. He's
It's just it says something about you without you having to say anything, which for me,
uh-huh.
I was like a quiet I was a I'm an extrovert, but like I wasn't like outspoken or like super outgoing, especially not in high school.
Uh-huh.
So like having that for me gave me the confidence to interact.
Yeah. You really were like the first one that I remember to be like working out and training. I remember you uh always talking about it, and I was like just thinking, I was like, I wonder if my dad would let me work out with him. I remember like thinking that. But like, so
Yeah.
you started off, you were working out with your dad a lot? Or
Yeah,
was he
I honestly like everybody I feel like I talk to that's in the training world is like, yeah, at 13 years old, I benched this, and this, and like knows everything that they were doing workout wise. I don't know if it's like a psychological thing where I like repress memories or
uh-huh.
whatever, but I couldn't tell you what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember any of that. It was just like the whole instance of like, this is what I did. I remember I signed up at Extreme Fitness when I was 15. Well, okay, I don't know, story time. When I was 14, my dad got me a membership at Fitness 19. It would drop me off there 3 days a week. And I was online looking like, what do I do to build muscle and get stronger? And there's all these like bodybuilding splits, like you do body parts. Like kids
Uh-huh.
still do this today. Is it the right thing? I don't know. But I would just, it's funny now I'm a strength coach. This is exactly what you should do, which is hilarious to me that I was doing this. I trained everything. I only got 3 days of work to train, or 3 days a week to train. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I would rather be doing this every single day. So now I got to make these 3 days count.
Uh-huh.
Like I was that kid who was doing like 4 sets on every single machine. I was figuring out like learning all the body parts. Like this is a tricep, this is a bicep. Like I have to do 4 sets for this, and like as like a 14-year-old, which is hilarious to think about. And my dad would drop me off for like an hour and a half, and then come pick me up. So I'm like, all right, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And then the next year, I signed up at Extreme, and the guy behind the counter, he's still around. I forget his name, but he was like involved with like the Michigan Meal Prep Company or whatever. But I wore like
Anthony Shibley?
yeah, I think it is. I think it
Yeah,
is Anthony Smith.
I haven't seen him in a long time at Extreme, but I did recently see him running down Cotton. So it's funny you say him, but keep going
That's
though.
random.
Yeah,
But
very.
when I was 15, like I had got some muscle on me. I really
Yeah.
did. And I was wore a cutoff to Extreme. I signed up, and he thought I was like 18. And he's like, "You look good, man." I'm like that was like, "Wow, really?" Like
Yeah.
I'm a 15-year-old, like, "Thanks, dude." And I like one of the things I do remember that I talk to my kids all the time because none of my high school kids are doing this, but like I was hitting like the hundreds. Granted, it was probably bad. Like if I could go back and see myself do it, it probably wasn't pretty, but
Uh-huh.
like I did like 5 reps with like 100-pound dumbbells when I was like 15 at Extreme.
Jeez.
I remember that. I'm just like,
I
that's
I
crazy.
remember I remember so I have such clear memories of you, me, and Todd working out in my basement.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
and smacking a whole bag of pizza rolls after.
yeah, dude,
Uh,
we those were good times. Just like
I
all the
remember, yeah, it'd be like a Friday night. I remember specifically one time because I had a family party, and the whole time because I was just there was a brand new hobby to me was training, and it was 10th grade, and I remember I'm at a family party and the whole time just thinking about working out. I remember like texting you and Todd. I'm like, my house tonight, 10 o'clock. And I remember we like
dude,
worked out with our shirts off, and dude,
yeah,
I just remember every workout we did, like I would start the lowest weight and we put a little bit on for Todd, and then you were always like you were the king, like you had like the most weight on it. And I would just be like, man, I want to be like that. And then we just
dude,
smack out on pizza rolls and do what we were
dude,
doing.
those were I think probably that's probably why I'm so into training too, is because I had start on everything. And like it was something, like I don't know, it's like when somebody's good at something, like you're like, oh cool, I want to show all the people like
Yeah.
what I can do with this. And it felt good. Like it felt really good. I remember, I mean, those are some of the best memories of my life, which is probably why I like training so much too. Like it was
Uh-huh.
awesome. We just got to go get after it in the basement. But at the same time, like I remember like people quitting on me basically when I was in high school that I would train with. Like I trained with Todd for a while and Todd eventually just like stopped going. And I remember that like kind of hurt
Oh,
my
oh,
feelings.
he hasn't
But
went
I
back. He's still
no,
gone. He
yeah.
still ain't been back. He's gonna hear this. He gave up on you. He never gave another shot. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
No, those were so funny, but like looking back, I was probably so over the top and intense about it too.
Uh-huh.
Like trying to get other people to follow the exact same regimen I was, and Troy Gish, like one and the same. Like me, him, and Landon worked out together at some point in high school, and like eventually Troy stopped on me, and like Landon stopped. Oh yeah, but just like you start losing people, and it's like man, like these guys can't hang with me. And I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
just having like a little
That
ego
that's
back
how
in the
you
day.
that's how you gotta look at. That's how you had to looked at it. Because knowing me and how I
Yeah.
was, I probably been like, man, it's not because I'm strong. It's just me. They just don't want to work out with me because I'm so small and boring.
Yeah, dude, yeah, but that was just like something I've just always. I mean, I started like I was like coaching y'all
No, you
back
were,
in the day,
dude. We were
and
doing
that's like
like
how it started. That's
I
like why I'm a
remember,
coach now.
dude. We were doing like caveman workouts, like hop on my back. I'd like hop on your back. You'd be doing like calf raises. I remember that, like
Yeah,
leaning over the couch. You have
I
your hands on
saw, I saw,
your
I
knees.
saw. Yes, dude. In Muscle and Fitness, there's a video. There's a picture of Arnold from the '70s with like 5 girls on his back, and then like they got like 300-pound guys sitting on him, and he's just doing like donkey calf raises. So
Dude,
I was just trying to
I remember
literally anything I could to be huge.
I remember doing pull downs, dude. Doing pull downs and like we would like lay on each other's lap. Do you remember that? Like you would like totally
Yeah,
hover
to
over the
keep each other
lap. Yeah, yeah, I remember doing
keep each
that,
other on
dude.
the
I
ground.
remember being shirtless, like laying on Todd, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing, dude? I mean, Austin's got me doing some wild stuff, dude.
I know, and the funny part is I'm not probably, I had no idea what I was talking about, but you guys were there for me, and that's that's what's
Dude,
up.
you talked about it recently. I think it was a TikTok you put out. A lot of times it's like it's not even like the information you're saying, it's how you're saying it. And you were so confident with everything you were saying. So I was like, yeah, he knows this thing. He knows this thing.
Yeah,
Like, dude, yeah.
it is, man. It's polarizing. That's how people, that's how Adolf Hitler took over Nazi
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's the way you say it, man.
No, it really is, dude.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember that though, dude, because you could have been telling me like do some like wild shit, dude. Uh, and I would have done whatever, dude. So I
Yeah, you're
one
you're
good
real
day.
for that. You're real for that for sure. I mean, man, I'm lucky I had friends looking back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For real, bro. Oh, but yeah, dude. Like, I think a lot about those times. A lot of times I'll come across like songs that we used to play, like a lot of the Punkos pop, and like that
I
always brings me back.
that's yeah, the Todd's The Seeking,
Uh huh.
um, Restless by The Seeking or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I still like every 6 months I'll put that song on and it'll bring me
Yeah.
back to being in our basements,
Uh
just
huh.
like working out. I don't know. Those are such good times. That like whole JV baseball area was like one of the most like pure moments of my life.
Uh huh.
It's just I
Um.
don't know.
Yeah, dude. Like, so like back to like what you do. Like as for for work, I was kind of thinking about this question earlier. Um, what exactly like is there times where you just want to give up and like what exactly is it that keeps you motivated?
It's probably the worst time to ask me this because I'm on the fence. Not gonna
Uh-huh.
lie to you
Yeah.
about what I do. Um, like I really enjoy working with the college kids I work with, but
Mhm.
like I don't personally think I really do well with children at all.
Mhm.
And that's because I talked about this with somebody too, but like when I was a kid, like we talked about it, we were 12, 13, 14. Like I was already pretty disciplined. I was never like a kid who like got into trouble or any of that. Like I was a well-behaved child for the most part. Like I'd like to believe. Like you hear, like I see these kids now and they like run all over the place. Like that wasn't me. I was the kid who was like gonna listen in class. Like you have a
Mhm.
substitute teacher in school and the kids are like off the walls and I'm just like angry the whole time, like blue in the face. Like why are you doing this to this person who's just trying to help us? Like
Uh-huh.
it's what's going through my head. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Like why am I like that? I don't know. But that was just always my personality. So I don't resonate
Uh-huh.
with like the kids who are just like don't listen to anything and they're off the walls and like and like it's not their fault, it's just a difference in personality, but like I can't relate to it and I feel like I can't help those people
Mhm.
because I just not like it's never been me. um like from there's a couple I have that are just like that. And I get along so well with them, like little kids, and they get so much done because I know that they're enjoying what we're doing.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, it's like I'm under the impression now if you're under 15 years old, maybe you shouldn't be in a weight room. Or
It
like, your dad
yeah.
should be taking you to the YMCA, not paying for sports
Yeah.
performance training. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, motivation wise, I just like to train. I always like to train. Training's brought me all my friends. Like it's, I mean, seriously, dude, it's like all my relationships. When I got into college, I got Kyle and Connor, that I just like did the same thing that I've been doing my whole life. They were
Mhm.
involved with something. I was like, no, let's go power lift. And
Yeah.
then we're all best friends and I'm coaching them. You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? Like that's been my whole life because I have all these people that I just coach to
And
train. And
and
I don't know if I'm like wrong for that or
Yeah.
what, but that's like all of
No,
my
yeah.
relationships are people I've coached to train.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yo,
don't know.
do you remember when we first met? Because I remember vividly, like,
Yep.
what you do?
Miss
Okay.
Herhuth's class, 7th grade. I corrected you saying Joey Votto.
Yeah, yeah. You had a red shirt on, and here I am
Joey
trying to make
Boto. I like
friends, dude.
him.
I go,
Yeah, I
hey, I
know.
like Joey Bono. He said it's Votto, and I was like, all right, all right, dude.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I also was that like I was that kid guy as a kid though. I was just like looking back, I was so analytical and serious about everything. Like, God, I don't know why, but
You were like the kid
yeah,
in the
no,
Polar Express, the
yeah,
annoying kid.
yeah, the rolly backpack kid.
Yeah. He's like, all I
Yeah,
found was a lazy pair of socks.
yeah,
That kid. But yeah,
yeah.
man.
What
So
about you, man? What motivates you? I don't want to steal a spotlight. This is our
no,
podcast now.
you're good, dude. What
I
motivates
want to
me?
know. We need to finish on this too, by the way. But
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want to touch on you a
we're
little
ending
bit.
on a high note.
Yeah.
What motivates me is I think about well, a lot of it I think about my little brother a lot of time. And like this is gonna get like kinda deep, but I think a lot about him and when my parents were, going through divorce. Me and Mitchell didn't really have like a true relationship, I feel like, until like the past like 2 years. A lot of times I would just poke my head in his room and like yell something, piss him off, you know what I'm saying? We never
I
really like
remember
connected
that.
like on a deeper level, dude. And I think about when my parents were splitting and I did my best to stay out of that house because I could. I had a car, you know. I had a lot of friends I could hang out with, like such as yourself, and I just try to avoid the whole moment, dude. And I thinking back, like Mitchell spent a lot of that time like in that house alone, like as depressing as it was. And my mom moved out, and he just spent a lot of time just watch that house like deteriorate from like what it was, um, like from stuff getting moved out. I remember him just like sitting in his room and just always like playing the piano. That's like one of the things because a lot of that was so traumatizing to me. It was like a blur. Um, so I hold a lot of uh I hold on to a lot of that, like kind of just feeling bad, being going through that situation. So a lot of my motivation, honestly, is try to be a good role model for my brother. And also like all like stemming back to that and like um some of the stuff I guess my childhood, like growing up with my dad wasn't always like the easiest.
Yeah.
And it kind of like made me like who I am today, like in all the good ways and the bad ways. And I kind of want to like why I started this podcast. I want to like use this platform to kind of be vulnerable. And I think being able to being in a spotlight where I can maybe like motivate others and like makes just one person like smile or make their day, like inspire them to do whatever, whatever it is, like whatever their goal is. Maybe they start a podcast, maybe they write a book, maybe they I don't know, go talk to that girl at the gym that they're scared to talk to. Just by
Yeah.
like being vulnerable. And I think that's what motivates me is because I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm not, um, yeah, like I've never been the best, like, with math or like data. But one thing is, I think my strong suit has always been like being able to connect and like resonate with people.
I think that's something
And
that I can compliment you for, and while you're in the middle of your thought is that like
thank you, man.
I've like you just have good relationships with so many people that
Hmm.
I remember like part of me when I'd went off to college and there was some bitter things that went on there between me
Hmm.
and another party, but
Hmm.
like I got kind of like disconnected a little bit intentionally, and I was always kind of scared for you
Mhm.
because you had like relationships with people that I may not have respected,
Mhm.
and like I didn't want you to just like be taken advantage of is like something I remember of because you always maintain such great relationships with all sorts of different people, but in reality, like like you're a grown man.
Yeah.
You were able to protect yourself. But I remember having that thought, like he talks and has such good relationships with so many people, and my personality was always like at that point was like trust nobody,
Mhm.
like a small circle, and you knew everybody, and everybody liked you, and you had all these like you had just had good relationships with everybody, and I was like, I don't know how he does it. Like
Yeah.
I'd be blue in the face, but man,
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. That makes it feel really good. It actually does. Um, well, yeah, that's really what motivates me, honestly. Um, any other questions you want to ask?
yeah. What are you gonna be doing when you're 60 years old?
When I'm 60 years old.
Yeah,
Hopefully, chilling in Florida with that Roth IRA money I just invested in my
nice.
401k. No, when I'm like 60, dude. I mean, it's just called like story time with Uncle Mike, like for a reason, dude. I'm just here living in the moment, man. I want to just build a lot of wonderful stories and be able to pass that on to the youth. I look forward to one day having a family and having grandkids and, living and learning, making mistakes. I heard Andrew Santino say in his stand up today, he said, I don't want to be like some crazy kind of, um, like when they're talking about me centuries from now, like some kind of like, I don't know, like what the word he used, I don't know, legend. But I want to be like a cheeseburger. Like enjoy me while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's pretty good.
I want everyone to enjoy me like while I'm here. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of where I see myself when I'm 60, dude. It's just
Yeah,
telling my story, telling what to
yeah,
do, what not to do.
man. That's all you can do, man. I don't know the happiest people on planet Earth just mind their business and smile.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like to me at least. I don't know.
Yeah. I know a lot of times, like as a kid, I think we kind of like viewed this growing up thing a lot different than
Oh,
like
for
what it is,
sure.
like, and it's hard in the social media age. Like you compare yourself so much to the guy next to you. And I feel a little bit of guilt in that too. Like I find myself where I'm comparing my circumstances to other people. And then in my head, like subconsciously, like making it seem like I'm better than them. And I hate myself like for like doing that. Like makes me feel good. Like I think about like this. I remember when I was a kid, my dad said like on my worst days, like I drive through like the trailer park by our house, and it makes me like so proud of like what we have. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look at it like that, or you can also look at it like you're kind of like looking down on someone, and that's kind of like how I've kind of I kind of beat myself up sometimes. Like I think I could like see someone who was like obviously like overweight or like unattractive, and I'll be like, dang, I'm just glad I'm not like that, and I beat myself up. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I've never really done well with perspective like that either, I
Hmm.
guess.
Hmm.
It doesn't help me. I don't think it helps me at all. So like you said, like comparison just sucks the joy out of everything, really it does.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or ugly. If you think you're above or you think you're below, it doesn't help anything.
Uh-huh.
It's not really one to compare, but that is really what rots us all to our core, I'm sure, at the end of the day. And you're
Mhm.
right. I mean, you see somebody, I mean, like, just a perspective thing. Like, man, like, one of my goals is I'm going to have to buy a car soon. And I'm going to try to buy a nice car because why not? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's my life. I want it. I got something that I want. I'm going to go after. I don't care.
Mhm.
It's a selfish goal. I don't care. But, like, sometimes before you'd see somebody in a nice car, it's like, man, like, probably never do that one day. Like, I'll never be able to drive that or afford that. Like,
Mhm.
I hate that guy. Like, they probably just got lucky. But at the end of the day, now I look at something like that. I'm like, man, that's cool. I want to do that.
Mhm.
Like, just shifting your perspective.
Yeah.
It's like same thing. Like, you might encounter somebody who's dirt poor, but maybe they're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what they want. I mean, like, not that that's what they want, but maybe that's their situation and they're cool with it. And like, I think at the end of the day, like, we're also hung up on like you've got to be successful and you've got to be profound. And you've got to do something that changes the world. But like, you don't have to do that, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Like, you can simply just get a job that you like to be at with people you like to be around and pay the bills and then love your family, and that's
Yeah.
okay. That's it. That like it can be that simple. You don't have to be on TV or make $1 million or whatever. Like, people are wired different. And, like, I mean, you know, if that's your thing, try with all your might. But at the end of the day, like, whatever happens was meant to happen.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen, brother. But hey, dude, I had a blast talking to you, bro. It's been that time,
Awesome.
man. Dude, this was awesome, man. I can't wait to edit this. I'm gonna edit it. I'm probably gonna eat something. I'm gonna edit it after.
Hey, right
But
on.
dude, as always, just like last week, man, I had a blast talking to you, bro. And we gotta do this again soon.
I'm sure it'll be a weekly.
Yeah. Enjoy your lift, bro.
Hey,
Enjoy
thanks,
your
man.
lift, bro. Keep doing you, man. Keep doing you, man.
doing you,
I'm
man.
I'm very proud of you. I love you.
Love you
And
too, man.
I'll see you soon, man. This is Storytime Uncle Mike, episode 4. Call Josh Lupo. What's his phone number? Say it one more time.
Here, let me pull it up real quick. Sorry.
Sorry, I caught you off guard.
All right. So if you want to get in contact with Josh Lupo, again, 586-819-8573. Again, one more time. 586-819-8573. He prefers if you call as well. Leave voicemails.
Yeah. Leave voicemails. Next week I will release his address as well. So be sure to follow up with that.
Well, we're gonna slowly release more of his information as we go.
Yeah, we are. All right, bro. I'll see you, man. I love you.
50. Love hasn't been the same since I saw you. Too many chances I done gave you to change. You always on my mind and I don't know why. Time flies and I'm sitting here all alone like before, trying to figure out what I did wrong. But all I did was love you like no one else could. If we ain't talking love, then you ain't had no part of me. I've wasted time with girls who only wanted finer things. And when I'm with you, baby, yeah, you got me feeling free. And I don't wanna live another day without you next to me. Love